All right, so here's really a chance for me to bring these, because I've kind of given these outlandish statements like build Flask apps in seconds. And here's an opportunity for me to actually show that through a series of several videos. Kind of, we've created this cooker app where we have public pages and private tools, right? And we could just recap and say, well, go watch all those prior videos. But I thought here's a great opportunity for me to show you in 3 commands a whole lot of structure, a whole lot of, and it builds out this public pages and private tools. So if you haven't watched along at all, that's completely fine because Flask Commands is a extremely powerful tool that will build out Flask applications for you, at least the data structures, in manners of seconds, minutes if you want. And in this example here, I'm going to use 3 commands to build out a scenario where the public will be able to view recipes and a particular recipe, all the recipes in a particular recipe, but then we'll have a kind of more protected area that only certain users have access to, and they will be able to do all 7 RESTful actions. So all full of the RESTful scenario, they'll be able to see all those routes. And we'll do that in 3 commands. If you want to count creating the app as a command, then 4 commands. So without further ado, let's do that. You can start your timer here. I have only one app in my demos, which is the cooker. And so we will do a Flask new, and then I'm just going to call it my project. All right. So longest time I'll have to spend is waiting for this to build. This doesn't take terribly long. Okay, I'm going to cd into my project, and then I am going to run each one of these commands. So the first command, we're going to make the recipe model and wire up the index page. So Flask make view recipes index minus RCM, route controller and model. All right. Then we are going to make the same thing for a show page, and I remove the M because I don't need the model. I've already generated it. I don't want to see a warning. And then now I want to make the test kitchen area with all 7 RESTful actions. So we'll do Flask make controller test kitchen RecipeController and minus CRUD. And the CRUD is this option creates all 7 RESTful actions. So we'll do that. All right. And now we will fire up the app just to see what we got. So if you were timing me, stop your timer because I'm finished with building out all that structure. So let's make this. So we should have recipes, and sure enough we do. Should be able to see a particular recipe, and that's because I didn't type it in right. So there we go. So sure enough we can. And then I should not be able to create a recipe. I should get a 404, but if I come in and I have rights to see Test Kitchen, then there we go. We can create a recipe. Under Test Kitchen, we can see all recipes. So like in this scenario, you would probably want a create button on this route, whereas you wouldn't want a create button on this route. And I mean, you probably, some people are thinking, well, I can show buttons based on roles, and yes, you can, absolutely. This is just another option where in this scenario, you have your own completely separate controller for this route versus this route. And you know, in the scenario where you want your app to be optimized fast, right? Like this route doesn't need as much things as this route where you're looking at Test Kitchen slash recipes, because the Test Kitchen area, they are going to need, maybe you make it so like they can edit all on this page or something like that. It's just gives you more flexibility in your applications. And you saw that we made that really quick. So all the files on disk are right here. They're for you, ready for you to edit them. You just quickly see we have the recipe model and no Test Kitchen model because that's not a model. But we have a Test Kitchen route, which has recipes, and then there are your 7 RESTful actions there. But you also have recipes, and here are your 2 public-facing routes. So that's just the ability for you to build out a lot of structure you saw in a very short period of time. Now, we'll kind of move on and we'll talk about naming nested controllers. So this is where the like recipes was registered and then Test Kitchen was not. So what would happen if the thing before what the controller word, if that was a registered model? We haven't seen that scenario, so we'll see that in the next video.